Hi, and welcome to the Horror Movie Freaks. My name is Matt, and joining me is my best friend Sue. Hi, Sue.
Hi.
Tonight we're going to be talking about the 1981 slasher film, The Burning. So, The Burning is a, like I said, 1981 horror film. So it was at the sort of beginning of that big horror phase that happened after Halloween and then Friday the 13th. Everyone was trying to cash in. So the film was written by Peter Lawrence and Bob Weinstein. So Bob Weinstein you may know as Bob and Harvey Weinstein. This was the first film from the Weinstein brothers, and it was the first, obviously, Miramax film. So The Burning is about a man called Cropsey, and this tale of Cropsey was an urban legend, especially around the New York State area where this tale was told at campfires. The story goes, Cropsey wasn't very well liked amongst the camp, and so some of the people at the camp, a group of wayward youths, decided to play a prank on Cropsey while he was asleep. They was that a rotting head?
I'm not quite sure. I mean, if they'd made it an animal head, it would have made more sense.
So they put candles in the eyes, and then they banged on the window, and Cropsey woke up and, of course, freaked out and knocked the candles onto the bed, which caused a fire, and he sleeps, of course, with a big barrel of petrol next to his bed.
Don't you?
Which immediately bursts into flames. Everyone does.
Jeez, you say it like it's out of the ordinary.
Yeah, Cropsey gets set on fire and rolls down the hill and into the lake. And after 5 years, he's released from hospital as a scarred monster. Cropsey goes back to the camp and decides to take his revenge on the people at the camp. So the counsellors and the students, really. Like, he didn't really discriminate over who he hacks away at. So what did you think of the story of Cropsey and The Burning?
Well, it's serviceable. Like, it does what it needs to do, and it tells a very basic story. When you really think about it, you can easily pick it apart, but it's not supposed to be a Pulitzer Prize winning script, I'm assuming.
This film, like you said, is not a great film. In some parts it's so bad it's just hilarious. Yeah. But I thought the story itself, they did do a good job of setting up the characters. I mean, they did spend a lot of time at the beginning, I thought, with the characters. You sort of understood the relationships of the core group. And I agree. Quite a few characters.
I do agree with that. The main thing I took issue with was the guys all seemed to be basically potential rapists. So, like, there were quite a few guys that really were like, no, you just keep pushing and eventually she'll say yes, or like just would not take any of these girls no for an answer and just kept going. And I'm like, they would not put that on film now. That's not good. Like, these are supposed to be... There was one guy who was supposed to be a little bit of a bad boy, but he wasn't exactly a nasty guy. But he was essentially going to force her to do stuff. Yeah, I have to say, watching those scenes did make me a little bit uncomfortable. But apart from that, I really quite liked it. And I thought, like you said, the characters were well developed, and yeah, it's not going to win any Oscars, but I still quite liked it.
If this I think should be remade, this film, and I think if it was polished up a bit, it would be even better. Agreed. Because I think the ending is very problematic. Like, it seems like they just lost interest almost at the end, like where Cropsey is coming out of that mine with the flames, and then he just turns it off for some reason, like after spending what seems like 10 minutes just flaming everything inside, but nowhere near the guy. And then when he gets close to the final guy, he turns it off, turns the flames off. Yeah, I do agree. The end sort of, it didn't maintain your interest because it was a little bit all over the shop. It didn't seem very focused on it didn't seem like it knew what it was doing, or it didn't seem to be heading to somewhere that was purposeful. So you did kind of drift off a little bit and go, oh, are we still alive? They're still fighting. Okay. The other thing I found weird was Alfred's character was weird to me, because I didn't really understand that. Like, normally a character that's been caught perving on someone in the shower would be
like kind of like set up as the scapegoat kind of thing, like a red herring. Like everyone would think he might be the baddie kind of situation. But instead he becomes just part of the gang, even though he's done something at the beginning that's a big overstep of, you know, what's allowed. That was interesting. I didn't really understand where he fit. Was he supposed to be?
Yeah, I thought
good?
the same thing. I'm like, because the rapey guy, I think his name is Eddie. Is Eddie the rapey sort of one?
I think so. Yes.
Like Alfred and
the more
Eddie
rapey one,
sort of was set up to be, you know, red herrings, but they gave it away at the very beginning, like in the opening shot, who Cropsey was, and we followed him to hospital, and then we followed him like coming out of hospital. So we knew perfectly well who the killer was. It wasn't any surprise. So I don't know why they set up these red herring characters when there's no red herring, because we
already know who it is.
We can see from the point of view, like with the Vaseline on the lens, like that it's Cropsey. It's not anyone who's able-bodied or whatever. So the burning is quite well known because it's the first feature for quite a few famous people. So Seinfeld's Jason Alexander, this was his first feature film. It was also had 2 Academy Award winners in the cast. It was the first film for Fisher Stephen and also for Holly Hunter. Although Holly Hunter, does she even have any lines in this film?
I don't think so, because I didn't even really realise she was in it until I watched the whole thing and then went, hang on, which one was she? I remember that scene where they're hugging people. Like, people are sobbing in each other's arms, and she was one of the holders. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, that's when I sort of noticed her, was at that raft scene when the raft sort of drifts back. I'm like, oh, there's Holly Hunter. Like, has she been in the film the whole time? Because I was really nervous.
Wow, she really commands the screen there.
But this, like, her name always comes up when there's articles on the burning. Oh, this was the first film of Holly Hunter. It's like, yeah, but she's an extra.
But no one remembers her. Exactly.
But I think Jason Alexander is really good in this. Like, I think he makes it, and I'm not sure whether he ad-libs or whether he's just written really well. But there are quite a lot of Georgisms
totally agree.
His character. I'm like, is this him?
Had
like,
total screen presence, and I kind of felt like he really added just the right amount of him to the film. Like, he was definitely required in that film.
All of the characters, I thought, you know, we said that before, they all did a really good job. Not only were they written well, but I thought they were acted quite well as well. You didn't go,
agreed.
Like, she's terrible, like, she's only there because she's got a great rack.
I feel like you can't talk about this film without talking about Friday the 13th.
The direction and the point of view shots seem very Friday the 13th.
Even like the setting and the group of teenagers and all of that just is Friday the 13th to me. And it's interesting why it was at the same time. Right? Like, did they influence each other, or was it just one of those things where ideas happen at the same time, like it's happened with other films?
The Weinstein say no, that they had this film in development before they'd seen Friday the 13th. But I mean, it's really hard to believe. They had the time to, like, Friday the 13th had come out, I think, by the time they were filming. So
right.
I think they were influenced by Friday the 13th. But I mean, to me, it's a good thing. Like, it's, you know, it's not a bad influence. It's
well, yeah, and it's not a direct copy. The effects obviously were incredible, and obviously the very best set piece of the entire film is the deaths on the raft. I wish that was fleshed out a little bit more, because it happened so quickly that I actually rewound it and watched it twice, because I was like, I feel like I missed all the detail there, and it was good detail, so I want to see it. But that scene is, well, you know, I understand why it's famous.
Yeah, so this was added to the British Video Nasties list because of that scene on the rafts. So should we talk about our scores then?
Okay. I'm going to give it a 6.
A 6? Mm-hmm. 6 out of 10?
Yeah. Even though, I mean, it sounds a bit low, But I think because I gave American Werewolf a 7, and I don't think it's anywhere in the same league as that. So even though I enjoyed it, I have to grade against what I've graded before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So the score that I'm going to give The Burning is a 6. I agree with you that it is a fun film, but there are so many flaws in this film that, like I just can't ignore those.
Yeah.
Also, like it is a really fun film, but there aren't that many scares. Like it's not a really sort of scary film.
Yeah, no.
So a solid 6.
Yeah.
So what do you think of The Burning? Do you like what you see? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. Or you can connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. And don't forget, we have so many other videos that we've uploaded and many more to come, so make sure you subscribe and check out our other videos that have been uploaded. Until next time, we'll see you then. Thanks, Freaks.
Bye.